Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Believe in San Diego Baseball, the podcast. My name is Alex Miniak, the voice of Petco Park, yes, even in the offseason, alongside the three-time All-Star Heath Bell. Heath is back from Midland, Texas, was on the road last week, was still catching the action. I think we're still going through the stages of grief. At least I've gotten to stage 5 of the grief, which is acceptance. I have accepted that we are no longer moving on in this postseason. How about you? Where do you think you are in this? There's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
I think I went through all of them pretty quick. It's now I'm just kind of enjoying the playoffs. I just want a good game, and I'm kind of not rooting for anybody, but just good games here and there and battling back and forth. So it's kind of a little frustrating. I guess I'm still in the frustrating when I think about the Padres, but it is what it is.
I think frustrated is stage 4.1, maybe right before acceptance, but after depression. I don't know.
I'm right. I'm at 4.8. I'm kind of accepted it, but I'm kind of, when I think about it, I'm kind of like, depressed a little bit.
Well, you talked about it. It's been an enjoyable postseason so far. We'll go through some of the games and some of the highlights that have happened so far in the division series. We'll also look back fondly on the 2025 season and some of the highlights that actually we really enjoyed this year. We did have some really, really good stuff happen this season, and we're going to ask some of you the same in our fan poll. But let's get to it. Yes, the postseason continues, even though it is without us. The party is over in San Diego, but we have some good baseball. Let's talk about those Cubs and Brewers. Game 1 Saturday, Brewers win 9-3. The Cubs, Michael Busch picks up where he left off. Leadoff home run, and then the Brewers answer was 6 right after that. Jackson Chourio, first player with 3 hits in the first 2 innings of a postseason game ever. Domination in Milwaukee. What did you think of this Cubs and Brewers series, at least what you've seen so far?
Well, what I've seen is the Cubs jump out in front, and it looks like, they have the momentum, and then the Brewers just, they don't give up, and they just take over. They're like, oh, you scored? Okay, we'll score more. So it's just kind of showing, hey, the Brewers are the best team in baseball right now. So, and it's kind of showing the little time off they had for the wild card did not slow them down at all.
I was wrong in my prediction, totally wrong. I thought whoever came out of that wild card series was going to capture momentum and steamroll right into the Brewers and maybe take a game or two, but nope, completely wrong. That's why I host a podcast, and I don't sit around a crystal ball doing psychic readings, that's for sure. Dodgers and Phillies, this one now 2-0 Dodgers. This is a bit of a surprise, taking both games in Philadelphia. Game 1 on Saturday, Dodgers won 5-3. Philly scored the first 3 runs in that game. In the bottom of the second, but Teoscar Hernandez answers with a 3-run home run in the top of the 7th. Again, Dodgers win 5-3. And then Game 2 Monday night, Dodgers win 4-3, a scoreless game until the top of the 7th when LA goes up 4-0. After that, Phillies made a game of it later on, but Freeman scoops and saves the game at first base. Snell, by the way, this is the line of the night. Snell, 6 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, no runs given up. This is trademark postseason Snell at his best.
Yeah, it just seemed like the Dodgers are the old Dodgers. I think towards the end of the season they were limping in to the playoffs, and we were kind of hoping that they would maybe get knocked out or whatnot. But they are they're kind of showing that they are defending champs, and looks like they're getting pretty hot again. So, I know a lot of Padre fans don't want to hear that, but they're looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, they're earning that built for fall sweatshirt in the dugout, that's for sure. Yeah, they look it and they are acting it. On the flip side of the coin, the American League Division Series, Yankees at Blue Jays. Game 1, Saturday, Blue Jays win 10-1. They score 8 in the 7th and 8th combined. Alejandro Kirk, 2 home runs in that game. Game 2 Sunday, Blue Jays win 13-7, another high-scoring affair at Rogers Center. Vladdy, grand slam to put Toronto up 9-0 in the 4th. That's just Blue Jay domination at the old Sky Dome, and up 0-2 in that series. Looks like Yankees are clinging for dear life there.
Toronto is kind of showing that they can hit and they can play baseball. I think a lot of teams have forgotten how good they are. But in that second game, the Yankees, they made it close, but at one time it was 12-0 or 13-0. So it was they showed that they don't give up and they keep battling backs, but the Yankees are going to go and try to do anything possible. They're going back home where they play really well, and they got their fans. So I predict the Yankees at least squeak out one or two and kind of make it a series, but Toronto will probably win that one.
Yeah, I mean, they still have guys named Judge, Stanton,
Yeah.
in that lineup. Things can happen in that short porch there at Yankee Stadium will do the home team wonders for sure. And I think probably the most interesting of these series, and certainly the closest so far, Tigers and Mariners, a game apiece. Game one Saturday. Tigers win 3-2. That game went until the 11th inning until Zach McKinstry hit the go-ahead single for the W there. Game two Sunday, Mariners win 3-2. The Mariners won their first home postseason game since October 15th, 2001. That is a long time. That was against Cleveland. Do you remember where you were on October 15th, 2001? I have a vague idea where I was, but where were you, Heath?
Oh gosh, October 2001. No, not really. I mean, I think I just got married, so who knows? It was like my
Yeah.
couple months of being married, but yeah, long time away.
I was living in Sarasota, Florida at the time, getting ready to pack my bags to move to New Hampshire. The first time living out of state in my life. Well, my adult life, anyway. I was born in a different state. But yeah, 24 years old. That was the last time the Mariners won a home playoff. That's really remarkable. Okay, so out of all these teams, Cubs, Brewers, Dodgers, Phillies, Yankees, Blue Jays, Tigers, Mariners, do you have a rooting interest in any of them? Do any of them look just like a compelling story to you that you want to go, you know what? I'm riding this horse all the way.
I like Seattle. I like rooting for them. I really do. They're the team I'm kind of rooting for to win, or at least get to the series. And the National League, it's kind of like you kind of want the Brewers, but I don't know. I'm just rooting in the American League right now. Don't want,
Yeah, well, the American League to me is a lot more interesting.
yeah.
Blue Jays, I mean, I was inside the Blue Jays organization from a minor league standpoint for 6 seasons, so I'll have the rooting interest there. I think, Tigers getting back to the playoffs again. Mariners, this story is great. I love Seattle. I love that park. I love the beer selection. I love the history of uniforms that Seattle wears. I love vintage Edgar and the Kid and Randy Johnson and everybody who's come through there. How do
Seattle's
you?
that like younger brother that finally beat Houston, and he knocked Houston out of the playoffs, and they've been on the edge of it for the last couple years and just couldn't make that hurdle. And then this year they have, and the first game looked like they were going to win, and then Detroit caught up, and second game was really tight too, and it's just a great series, and it's just their never give up attitude. It's just a good story, and it's a good team. That's all.
Yeah, on the NL side, I mean, I'll always root for any team who's beat us. I think it makes us look good. Cubs over the Brewers and Dodgers, Phillies, man, really don't care whatsoever. Whoever wins that series, I hope they lose the next one. I don't, can't like the Dodgers at all.
Safe to say you were rooting for the Dodgers a couple years ago.
Well, you know what? That one's hard. That might be the exception to the rule.
Well, honestly, the reason I root for the Dodgers, because Dave Roberts was a coach and a good friend of mine still. And, Mark Pryor was a teammate. One of my catchers, Josh Bard, is one of their coaches. So it was just a lot of the coaching staff I've had coaches or ex-teammates. So I kind of root for them, not the organization.
I gotcha.
And honestly, if the Dodgers are going to win again, it'd be great just because Kershaw is going to retire, and he's one of those classy guys in the game where if he's going to retire on top, that's one of everybody's dream. And Not saying I want the Dodgers to win, but if that's the case, then, I'll tip my hat and say, hey, it's a good story.
You know, when I think of Dave Roberts, I don't think Dodgers. I don't even think Padres. I think the Steel. I was living in
The Red
Boston
Sox.
at the time. Right. He will never, ever, ever, ever have to buy a beer in the city of Boston again, ever. 2004. If you're young and you missed it, if you never saw it, look it up. It's worth it. It's one of the most amazing plays in postseason history. But, I've got the hat here. It's like draft day. I'm going to put it on. I am going Blue Jays the rest of the way. Yes, this is my vintage Blue Jays hat. Blue Jays all the way, baby. I love Toronto. Love the Maple Leaf. Let's go.
Well, I think my Seattle Mariners are going to beat your Blue Jays.
We'll see. Friendly wager, if it's allowed. Let's look back on our season, too. I mean, we had a lot of great moments this year, a lot of which took place at Petco Park. I want to start with how well we started the season. 15-4, the Padres were by April 16th. We had the best record in baseball. We were 12-1 at Petco Park, and it was the best 19-game start to a season since 1998. It seemed like kismet, karma, stars aligning. That's how we felt. I know walking around that ballpark, it felt great. The clubhouse security guy, great dude, John. He always gives everybody a pound of hello, wave, salute, what have you. I know I went by John every day, and we just kept going, let's do it again tomorrow. Let's do it again tomorrow. Let's do it again tomorrow. And we did 12 of those over that streak, and I loved it. And that was a great way to start the season. I think that was a memorable way to get this campaign going.
Yeah, it was just a good time. I mean, coming out of spring training, I think everybody, picked us to be like 500 or whatnot, or a little below, and maybe in third place, not really making the playoffs. And we kind of came out of the gates really hot, and it was really exciting. It was like, okay, this is kind of our year where everybody's gelling, everybody's going well, and then a couple of injuries kind of hit, but it was a good way to start off. Looking back now, that probably helped us get to the playoffs, but really I look back and try to look at, the pros and cons of everything. And, the Padres had, started off one of the best teams in baseball. The Mets had the best record in baseball at one time. And the Mets fell apart right at the end, and the Padres got knocked out in the first round. So,
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, too, that team was a very different team than the one we ended up with. Think about left field, Jason Hayward, Connor Joe.
oh, I think half of our team was totally different.
Way different. And we had a lot of uncertainty coming out of spring training as to who was lining up where.
Where's our
Both
bench? Who's going to DH?
exactly. In what order? Who's our rotation going to be on the back end? We had a lot of questions there. So that was a great start to the season. I love tone setters. I love coming out of the gate strong. Don't like playing from behind, like playing from ahead. That definitely, I think, put us in a good spot for the postseason.
Oh, yeah.
Next thing I want to talk about, Manny Machado, 2 career milestones this season. June the 5th hits his 350th home run at Baltimore, the team he came into the league with. And then on July 7th, hits his 2,000th hit at Petco Park against the Diamondbacks, just padding that Hall of Fame credential career.
Yeah, I was actually there for the 2000 hit. It was kind of like a hit. Did I get a hit? Did I get a not? Because the shortstop kind of, it was way out there. There was no way he could throw the ball, but he snagged it, so it didn't go to the outfield. But yeah, it was pretty exciting to see. And, you got to tip your hat how good Manny is. And hopefully he keeps having good seasons from here on out.
Fernando's right field robberies, not 1, but 2 this season. August 20th against San Francisco, September 9th against Cincinnati. Both of those should have gone over the fence, and both of those were pulled back. Just an amazing mastery of skill and defense, and another platinum glove, I'm sure, coming his way.
Yeah, he only had 2 robberies, but it seems like he had 5 or 6. I mean, how many times he ran back and caught the ball, and those.
Well, think about those sliding grabs too on the grass.
Those 2 robberies were definitely. It wasn't just like a glove over the wall. He reached up and really got over there. But defensively, he was superb and should get another piece of hardware, another Gold Glove. But it was fun to watch him in the outfield this year.
Yeah, and you know that September 9th one too, he actually put his foot into the wall to get leverage to get up to rob that. So that was definitely a piece of work, and that one's going down in the history books for sure. Mason Miller's immaculate inning, September 3rd, on 9 straight sliders. This is a dude that hit 104.5 in the postseason and does it on 9 straight sliders.
Well, it just goes to show how good he is, and it goes to show the hitters just cannot see the ball coming off him. So it's really exciting that he's going to be in a Padre uniform for the next couple of years as a bullpen guy or as a starter. We just don't know yet, but he's one of those, like Paul Schemes somewhat starters or pitchers out there that, could potential be a Cy Young or a lights out guy in the bullpen. So where you're not going to get a hit. It's going to be
Freak of nature.
every time he pitches, it's something's going to happen. It's going to be special.
Yeah, absolutely. And then finally, just back-to-back 90-win seasons, 4 postseason campaigns in the last 6 years. That is something special, and this is an unheard of era in Padre history. And you said it on our last show, even though we were a little down in the dumps and a little sad and a little depressed and going through the stages of grief again. I mean, this is truly special, and building a foundation of a winning culture in San Diego. We may not have gotten it yet, but we're on the right path.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just get to the playoffs. If you get to the playoffs, you got a chance. I know it seems like we're kind of going backwards in the playoffs, but we're in the playoffs. And, if you can ask any team, let's say late 90s, 2000 Braves, when they were in the playoffs every year, they only won one World Series, but I think they were in the playoffs for like 12 or 13 straight years, where I think the Braves fans would enjoy that. I don't think they would be like, oh yeah, well, it was great, but we only won one out of those, 12, 13 years. So, I mean, the key is to get there and, win. But if you're not there, you don't have a chance of winning. So Padre fans, you just got to, grin your teeth a little bit and say, hey, wait until next year because, we're just going to retool. We're going to do it, but we have to get to the playoffs to even have a chance. And this year, I mean, here's the thing. One bad umpire call. The Cubs made some really good defensive play. We hit the ball real well. It's not like we were striking out a lot. So, if the ball is just 2 more inches this way or the umpire calls a ball instead of a strike, who knows? Maybe we make it to the next round and we're playing the Milwaukee Brewers. So it just didn't fall our way this year, but you got to be exciting because this era in baseball is really exciting. So I'm excited to see what the next couple of years is going to be for the Padres too.
Well, when they say baseball is hard, they mean it. It's hard to pitch. It's hard to hit. The season is a slog. And then you get a whole new season called the postseason, and then you have to do it there too. So every variable that you can possibly think of is magnified. And you're right. Once you get over the hump and then you get to the playoffs, whole new ball game. Again, look at those Diamondbacks from a couple years ago. Same deal. Rode it to the World Series. So you never know.
Yeah, you just got to get it right at the right time. And I think we were just kind of stumbling a little bit at the end, even though we did really well against the Diamondbacks. I really feel like the last 2 or 3 weeks we were kind of stumbling. So we weren't in the best shape. I thought we were going to hit better, but at the end of the day, we just never hit on the road, and that's what killed us at the end of the day.
You and I, for those last couple of weeks of the season too, we're constantly looking for signs, bright spots. Is this the start of something big? Is this a game changer, a momentum shift? But you're right, it never really happened, but still fun to watch nonetheless. You know what? When we come back after this, Heath, I want to know, out of those 5 great moments of the 2025 season, I'm gonna want to know basically which one was your favorite. I'll give you one too, and we're gonna ask our fans as well. Of course, we always thank you for listening to this program. If you subscribe, follow Apple Podcasts or Spotify or iHeart, we certainly thank you. If you don't, get on it. We expect you to. And on top of that, we're going to ask you to tell your friends too, because we want to build this momentum here in San Diego in the offseason. Don't forget to check us out online too at BelieveInSD.com. And we'll be back in just a couple minutes on Believe in San Diego Baseball. Welcome back to Believe in San Diego Baseball. My name is Alex Miniak alongside the three-time All-Star Heath Bell. Welcome back, Heath. Heath, this is the part of the show we're going to ask our fans what they think. We just went over 5 key moments, the best moments that we feel happened this season with the Padres, on the road, at Petco Park, wherever. We're talking team, career milestones. We're talking individual highlights. We're taking everything into account here. The 5 that we picked, 15-4 to start the season, Manny's 2,000th hit and 350th home run, Fernando's right field robberies, Mason Miller's immaculate inning, and the back-to-back 90-win seasons and 4th postseason in the last 6 years. Out of those 5, Heath, which one was your favorite?
I really enjoyed the back-to-back 90-win season because it kind of shows the Padres aren't a fluke team. They're here to stay, and they're going to be one of the best teams in the National League West from year in and year out. So that's kind of my excitement for this year.
Yeah, speaking of excitement, I'm going to pick 2 very exciting moments as my favorite highlights of the season. Fernando's right field robberies, for one thing. I was there and lived both of them. The San Francisco one on the 20th of August and the Cincy one on the 9th of September. And I was there for Mason Miller's immaculate inning, September 3rd at Petco. 9 straight sliders. Out of those 2, I'm going to side with the pitcher. You're going to like that. Mason Miller, immaculate inning, because I think it's so rare. And I think it's one of those things that you just don't see every day. And I was shocked when it happened. In fact, I had to ask the scoreboard manager next to me, Jeff, I had to ask him, did that just really happen? Was that an immaculate inning? I just needed to make sure because it was so remarkable and it happened so fast. I needed to know that it was real. And I think that was an amazing accomplishment. And of course, we want to know what you think at BelieveInSD.com. We got our fan poll up there. We want to know what your favorite moment of the 2025 season was. Again, get on our website, BelieveInSD.com. Any final thoughts as we head through the postseason here, Heath, and wrap it up for tonight?
No, I just think Seattle Mariners are going to win, and maybe they can beat the Dodgers in the World Series. That would be a great World Series for me.
Hopefully I can meet you in the championship series with this Blue Jays cap. That would be fun. It'd be a fun little debate. Maybe we can have a watch party here on this show. We'll find out when we talk later this week on Believe in San Diego Baseball. For the 3-time All-Star Heath Bell, my name is Alex Miniak, and we'll catch you next time on Believe in San Diego Baseball.
See ya.